Let me tell you about the worst Monday morning of a data engineer's life. It's a 9 a.m. A VP walks over to her desk and says, "Legal just called. A customer filed a GDPR request. They want every piece of data we hold about them deleted. By Friday, can you find it all?" And she freezes because the honest answer is she has no idea. Customer data is in 40 tables across 3 teams in 2 workspaces, and nobody actually know which columns hold personal information, who has access to them, or where that data flow downstream. That right there, that feeling, I don't know where my data is, who can touch it, or whether I am even allowed it. That's the problem data governance was invented to solve. Today, I am your host. Welcome back to Data Architect Diaries. This is episode 1 of a deep dive series on data governance in Azure Databricks. And by the end of this series, that Friday deadline, you will know exactly how to hit it. Let's get into it. Quick map before we dive so you know where we are going. This is a 6-part journey. Today, phase 1, the foundation and the architecture, the why before the how. Then we go deep on Unity catalog, then access control and security, then lineage and this auditing, then compliance, and then data sharing. And we finish with most interview drills. Every episode builds on this one. So if you skip today, the rest would not click. If you are prepping for a data engineering or a data architect interview, or you just inherited a Databricks environment and you are the personal responsible for not getting the company fined, this series is built for you. So hit subscribe so you don't miss phase 2. Okay, let's kill the textbook definition first, then make it real. The official version goes like this: data governance is the collection of policies, roles, process, and technical control that make sure data across an organization is discoverable, trustworthy, secure, and use it compliance with the rules. Both your internal rules and external one like GDPR. That's the correct. But it also the kind of sentence that makes people eyes glass over. So let me give you the version that actually lives in your head. Here is how I want you to think about governance. For every single dataset in your company, governance answer 5 questions. Just 5. Memorize these because honestly, this is the spine of entire topic. And if you get asked what is data governance in an interview, what is the answer that make you sound senior? Question 1: who can access this data, and not just yes or no, at what granularity? Can they see the whole catalog, just one schema, one table, one column, and even specific rows? Governance controls access at every one of these levels. Question 2: what does this data actually mean? What is the definition of this field? Who owns it? How sensitive is it? Is this public, internal, or if this leaks, we are on the news? And the confidential, and what's the quality level? Can I trust it? Third one question is where? Where does the data come from and where does it flow? This is lineage. If this revenue number is wrong, where did it originate? And if I change this column, what dashboard downstream am I about to break? Question 4: when? When was this data accessed or changed and by whom? This is auditing. It is the security camera footage of your data platform. And the question 5, last, why? Why is this access even justified? Does it satisfy the regulation and contracts we are bound by? This is compliance. So who, what, where, why and when, that is the data governance. And everything else in the series is just the tools that answer those 5 questions. Let's discuss about the GDPR scenario and what will be the answer for this one. Okay, so let's go straight back to our VP and that Friday deadline. because I want to show you how those 5 questions map to a real crisis, not a hypothetical. The customer wants their deleted to pull that off. Our engineer needs their lineage to find every table that holds this person information. She needs what classification to know which columns are actually personal data versus say an internal product ID. She needs who access control to make sure she even has permission to touch those tables, and she needs when audit to later prove to the regular that the deletion happened and who did it. And the whole exercise exists because of why compliance the law. See what just happened. One real world fire drill and all 5 governance pillars showed up. That's not a coincidence. Every serious data problem is a governance problem wearing a different costume. And here is the thing, I really want you to internalize companies that have governance figured out that Friday request in a 30-minute task, companies that don't it. It's a 3 week panic that sometimes ends in a fine with a lots of zeros. The difference is entirely the foundation we are building today. So now let's discuss about why Databricks needs a governance brain. Now, why are we talking about this is in the context of a Databricks specifically. To answer that, I need to show you the architecture governance live inside. This is the Lakehouse, and I promise to make it click in about 90 seconds. In this picture, at the very bottom, you have got a cloud storage. In Azure, that's the ADLS Generation 2. This is just cheap object storage. A giant hard drive in the cloud, raw file sitting in containers. By itself, it's know nothing about tables or permission. It's a warehouse full of unlabeled box. On top of that, we put Delta Lake, and Delta is the magic that turns that piles of the files into something trustworthy. It adds a transaction log over your files, which gives you acid transaction, real database guaranteed, plus time travel, so you can query yesterday version of a table, and schema enforcement, so garbage data gets rejected at the door. Delta is what makes a lake behave like a warehouse. That is the lake house, best of both worlds. But here is the gap. Delta make individual table trustworthy. It does not tell you who is the allowed to read them and where they come from or who does them last. Delta governs bytes, it does not govern behavior. So we need one more layer on top, the governance brain. In Databricks, that brain is called Unity Catalog. And Unity Catalog is what answer all 5 of our questions: who, what, where, when, and why. Across every workspace in one consistent place, we are going to spend the entire next episode on Unity Catalog. So today, I just want the architecture in your head, storage, then Delta, then Unity Catalog on top. That is the 3 layers. Now let's discuss about the word before Unity Catalog. Now every good origin story needs a villain, and to appreciate why Unity Catalog matters, you have to feel the pain of what comes before it. Interviewers love this contrast, by the way. If you can articulate the before, you instantly sound like someone who's been the trench. Before Unity Catalog, governance in Databricks lived in something called the Hive metastore, and the fatal flaw of the Hive metastore was one word: scope. It was scoped to a single workspace. So imagine your company had 5 Databricks workspace, one for the marketing team, one for the finance, one for data science, and so on. So with the old model, each workspace had its own separate metastore, its own separate list of permission, its own idea of who could see what. So 5 workspace means 5 little governance islands that did not talk to each other. So you want to know who across the whole company can access customer data? You would have to log into 5 different workspace and check 5 different places. Want to give the finance team access to a marketing table? Painful. And access control back the link or clunky table ACL and credential pass through stitch into cluster config. Fragile, easy to misconfigure, and nearly impossible to audit centrally. So Unity Catalog fixed this with one architecture decision, and it lifts governance up out of the individual workspace, all the way up the account level. So one metastore, one set of the identities, one permission model, governing every workspace at once. Suddenly that who can see customer data across the whole company question has one place to look. So whenever you hear Unity Catalog, I want your brain to translate it to the thing that moved governance from her workspace chaos to one account level source of truth. That single sentence will carry you a long way in an interview. So now discuss about the core framework, 6 pillar, 6 Databricks features. Alright, this next slide is the one I will tell you the screenshot and put on your wall because this is the framework that organizes everything. Remember our 5 questions. In practice, the industry grouped the work of governance into 6 pillars. And the beautiful thing about Databricks is that each pillar maps to a specific feature. So if an interview says, how does Databricks do governance? You would ramble, you walk through 6 pillars, each with its tool. Let me give you each one with a real example. So first one is data access control. This is the who question in the Unity catalog. You handle it with grant and revoke statement. The exact same SQL muscle memory you would use in any database. Example, grant the analysis group read access to the sales table, one line of SQL, done. We go deep on this in episode 3. Second one is data lineage. This is where Unity Catalog capture lineage automatically. You don't instrument anything. It tracks table to table and even column to column where data came from and where it goes. For an example, you click on a revenue column and you instantly see this came from these 3 source table and it feeds these 8 dashboard. That's your GDPR deletion superpower, by the way. Pillar number 3, data discovery and cataloging. This is the part of what? It is the search engine for your data. Tools here are the catalog explorer plus tags plus comments and the search. For an example, a new analyst join types revenue into the catalog and finds the official owned document revenue table. Instead of building a wrong one from scratch, discovery is how you kill duplicate shadow dataset. Let's discuss about pillar number 4, data auditing. This is when Databricks give you system tables and audit logs. And system tables are gorgeous because they are just SQL you can query. For an example, show me everyone who queried the salary table in the last 90 days. That's now a simple select statement, not a forensic log mining project. Next one, pillar 5, data quality. This is the trust part of what tools are Delta live table expectation and Lakehouse monitoring. For an example, you declare a rule, the email column must never be null, and bad records get caught, dropped, or flagged automatically as data flow through your pipeline. Governance is not just security, it's can I trust this number. Next, discuss about data classification and masking. This is the sensitivity part of what plus protection. Tools are column mask, row filter tags, and sensitive data detection. For an example, take a column as PII, personal identification information, and now anyone outside the privilege group see it masked. The credit card shows up as masked instead of the real number, enforced automatically at every time. So we have discussed 6 pillars, 6 features. This is the entire shape of database governance on one slide. Everything we do in the rest of the series is just zooming into one of these 6 boxes. Now let's discuss about how it all works together. One table, 6 pillars, mostly invisible. Okay, so let me make this concrete with one story that touches all 6 pillars so you see how they work together and not in isolation. Imagine a single table, customer transaction, brand new, just landed in your Lakehouse. So discovery kicks in first. You tag it, write a comment describing it so people can find it. Then classification. Your tooling detects there is a credit card column in there, flags it as a PII, and mask snaps on automatically. Then come into access control. You grant the finance team select and nobody else get it. Now data start flowing and analyst builds a dashboard on top of it. And lineage quietly records that connection. Transaction table feeds that executive dashboard. Meanwhile, quality rules are running on every load, making sure no transaction has a null amount of a negative total. And every single time someone opens that table, auditing writes down who, when, what query. So one table, six pillars, all working at once, mostly invisible. That's what a government data platform feels like. The control are just there doing their jobs so that when the VP walks over on Friday morning, the answer is give me 30 minutes, not give me three weeks. Okay, let's switch heads. A big chunk of you are here to crush an interview. So let me hand you three answers you can almost say word for word. These are the ones that separate people who read about governance from people who get it. First one question is what is data governance? So if you tell that one it's about managing data, so whatever everybody says that this one is the weak answer. What will be the strong answer? Governance answer five questions about every data set. Who can access it, what it means, where it came from, when it was touched, and why that access is compliant. In Databricks, those maps to the access control, classification, lineage, auditing, and compliance. You just sounded like you run a platform. Question 2. What problem does Unity Catalog solve? So what would be the strong answer? Before Unity Catalog, governance lived in the Hive metastore HMS, which was scoped to a single workspace. So permission and metadata were fragmented across every workspace. But after Unity Catalog lifts governance to the account level. One metastore, one entity model, one permission system governing all workspace with lineage and audit built in. What is the third one question? Name the governance pillar and how database implement them. Here you just walk the six access control is grant, revoke, lineage is automatically in Unity Catalog, discovery is catalog explorer and tags, auditing is system table, quality is delta live tables and lakehouse monitoring, and classification is mask, group, filters and tags. So these are the three answers. Memorize the structure, note the exact words, and you will handle 80% of the opening governance question in any Databricks interview. Let's quickly recap. Let's land the plane. Today we covered three things, and if you remember nothing else, remember these. First one, the five question. Who, what, where, when and why. That is the governance in plain English. Second one, the architecture. Storage at the bottom, Delta Lake making tables trustworthy, and the Unity catalog as the governance brain on top. Three layers. Third one, the six pillar. Access control, lineage, discovery, auditing, quality and classification. Each one mapped to a real Databricks feature. In the next episode, we crack open Unity Catalog itself, the metastore, the famous three-level namespace, the secureable object hierarchy, and how permission inheritance can either save your life or accidentally expose your entirely company data. It's the most important episode in the series, so you don't want to miss it. If this made governance click for you, do me one favor, hit like, it genuinely helps the channel, and subscribe so phase 2 lands in your feed the second it drops. Drop a comment with the hardest governance question and you have even been asked in an interview. I read everyone and I might answer yours on camera. I am signing off from Data Architect Diaries. So govern your data like that Friday deadline is coming because one day it will be. See you in the phase 2.